Okay, here we're installing a set of seats into a BMW. We've already bolted in the subframes, they are tight. We are now at installation for the seat. We've installed the side mount and the runners. Important to make sure that the runners are underneath the seat on both sides. And when we're installing the subframe, the side with just one set of holes is closest to the tunnel. And this cutout here, which is for the feet of any passengers that are sat in the rear, is at the back of the subframe, and these holes here allow different fitments of different seats. So we slide this into a position where we can look through. Because we're not really sure on who's going to be driving this car, we're just going to use the midpoint. So we're going to take that one there, and on this side we will also line that up so you can see it. I'm going to use the elongated holes because it gives us more adjustment should we need it. And now I'm going to put some bolts in. Okay, bolts are now in. We've just put them in, we've put a knot on the back finger tight. This one can be a little bit tricky. Here we're using a hex head. We normally supply these with a cap head bolt, which makes installation much easier on this side. Because it can be tricky to get to. So once we've got the back ones in, we just slide the seat backwards, which will give us access to the front ones. Can be tricky, but you only have to do it once. Okay, and now we have access to the front ones, which should line up with the holes in the subframe, which it does. So now we'll just go ahead and put bolts in these holes. Okay, and in those go. And now we will put nuts on the back and just go finger tight. Okay, so we have the nuts on the back, everything's just finger tight, so it still rattles around, but a good time to just check. Make sure everything moves. Yes, everything's good, moving freely. And at this point we will also check just to make sure we've got clearance. Okay, we've got clearance on the roll cage. It comes out this way a little bit, so it's a good time to get in, check the door shuts, and also we have adjustability. So we've got the 3 settings here at the back. We've got 3 settings at the front, although if you take the lowest one, you'll struggle to use the slider, so often best is to leave that one. And maybe sit in the seat at this point and just get a feel for it. Does this feel about how you're gonna want it, or put some adjustment into it now before we go fully tight. Okay, so here we're just checking the measurements, checking everything's fitting up nicely. You can see we've got nice clearance to the tunnel, it's not too tight. We've got clearance to the door. Again, this car has had door cards removed and been replaced with an alley plate. If you've got door cards, you may find interference here, but this is the widest seat we do, and unfortunately there's only so much space in the car. So you can see we've got a nice little bit of clearance there. Clearance to the cage if you've got a cage in the car, and yeah, we've measured it as tight as possible, and that's all the space we've got to work with. Okay, and here we have it. Seats fully installed. Took about 15 minutes to put it in. Can be fiddly to get under the subframe, but you've only got to do it once. Ratchet spanners can be a godsend here. And on this particular seat we're using hex heads, but we normally supply cap heads, which means you can drive them from the top and hold from the bottom. Makes it a lot easier for the install. Paired it up with a nice Sparco 4-point. These seats will take a 4-point harness, so you do have a harness port in the floor should you want to go for a 5 or 6-point. So that's there for you to use. Yeah, plenty of space in the back for any passengers to get their feet underneath, keep them comfortable should you have them. And yeah, guys, that's basically it. One seat installed into this is an E36 Pandem car, but equally easy on the E46. Exactly the same mount points, exactly the same process. So yeah. get them in and enjoy.